Rod Wood has suggested the candidates for general manager and head coach have been finalized.
It's LeGarrette Blount here, man, 3-time Super Bowl champion. I just want to give you a shout out to the YouTube channel, Micro Mike, man.
Eddie Murray, former Detroit Lion. Make sure you watch Micro Mike on YouTube.
Calvin Johnson Jr. here, aka Megatron. Big shout out to Micro Mike and YouTube channel, man.
Keep on talking everything Detroit Lions, and I just got to remind you, man, happy wife, happy life.
What is going on, YouTube, and welcome to Detroit Lions Talk with Micro Mike. We talk all things Detroit Lions, news, rumors, analysis, breakdown, and everything regarding our franchise. And in this video, we're going to break down what Rod Wood has just stated in an interview regarding the candidates to lead our franchise when it comes to general manager as well as head coach. We're going to get into it and see, kind of break down and analyze what he said there. But before we get to this video, if you're not a subscriber, and yes, 50% of you are not, hit that big red subscribe button. You don't want to miss out on content. I'm dropping content every single day, and guess what? A lot of breaking news is taking place, and if you're not a subscriber, you're going to miss out. So hit that subscribe button, and let's get to 12,000 subscribers. Also, hit that big like button. Yes, when you hit that like button, the video gets out via YouTube algorithm. I have a chance to reach out to more potential individuals seeking their Lions news, and I'm going against the legacy media. They are juggernaut, and I am one guy. Also, the heads of Chat Sports, they want me to get more likes. Why? Because guess what, folks? They tell me. Without further ado, let's get into the meat and bones of this video. President and CEO Rod Wood has suggested that the search of candidates for the general manager and head coaching position has been finalized. In an interview this morning, this is what he stated. I think we're probably to the point where we've put forward every name that we're going to consider, Rod Wood stated, but we've had names that we've considered and restacked and reordered, and there's a handful that may still pursue. But right now, I'm assuming that candidates that we're interviewing, one of them will be our next head coach and one will be our next general manager. In other words, the individuals that they have spoken to, they believe two of those individuals are going to be the leaders of the Detroit Lions going forward. You're about to hit an ad break, and when you hit this ad break, take the time to leave a comment in the comment section. Would you hire the head coach before the general manager? Why for yes and for no? Tell me the authority you would take. Is that fine in your opinion? Is it not fine? Let me know and leave a comment in the comment section. This has pretty much big implications because we've had a lot of suggestions. Who is going to be the next head coach? Who is going to be the next general manager? Well, we've seen the list of names out there, and let me tell you the list of names. Former Bengals head coach Marvin Lewis, Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy, Lions interim head coach Darrell Bevell, 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh, Titans offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, and Saints assistant head coach Dan Campbell. And in this list, you're seeing a lot of names that we've all suggested since Matt Patricia have been fired. A lot of names we looked upon towards winning franchises. Obviously, the Kansas City Chiefs, Eric Bieniemy. He interviewed for the Detroit Lions yesterday. Makes a lot of sense with this high-powered offense. Patrick Mahomes, speedy receivers. When it comes to the Detroit Lions, they are known for having off. And yes, the offense is always high-powered, so that makes sense there. Marvin Lewis, a little bit of a head-scratcher here. Yes, he has been a head coach and he has a lot of experience, but he also doesn't have a lot of experience winning playoff games. So maybe that's just a flyer. We'll see. Interim head coach Darrell Bevell makes sense. You're definitely going to interview the guy that's been here. Robert Saleh, to me, makes the number one fit in my opinion. The defensive coordinator of the 49ers. I don't have to continue to talk about how this guy is a very good defensive mind and he can revolutionize the line. Offensive coordinator Arthur Smith of the Tennessee Titans. This is an interesting pick here. Actually, a couple subscribers said, Mike, talk about this guy. Well, when you look at the Tennessee Titans, they're a very balanced offense with power running game under Derrick Henry, but he helped revolutionize Ryan Tannehill being a very balanced offense as well with the play action. I think he is a dark horse candidate, and makes a little bit of sense that they want to interview this man to be the head coaching job. I still think it's a longer shot for him to get the job, but it's an interesting candidate nonetheless. Also, the assistant head coach to the New Orleans Saints, Dan Campbell. You look at New Orleans Saints, they have a high-powered offense, but again, their head coach, I think, has a lot to do with it. He still is a candidate that helped with the great offenses of New Orleans, as well as they do have good defense in New Orleans. We don't talk about the defense, but the defense has helped the team out in recent years, and they can find good players regarding backup quarterbacks. And so they had Teddy Bridgewater, Jameis Winston, and obviously their dual threat running back, tight end, hybrid quarterback that they have now. So that's an interesting candidate. To me, still, I think Robert Saleh is the number one guy on my list, and probably the number one guy on the Detroit Lions list. But if they don't decide to hire him, we may have to wait a little bit, because a lot of these guys are currently in the playoffs, and there's a chance that they can make the Super Bowl, i.e. Eric Bieniemy. You're about to hit another ad break, and when you hit this ad break, take the time to hit that like button. It only takes a second. Go and smash that like button. It helps bring the video out via YouTube algorithm, and I have a chance to reach out to more individuals out on YouTube and get my platform higher. I'm going against legacy media, and maybe, just maybe, I can bring out information to more people than they would assume. Let's go ahead and go to the general manager list. Lions VP of Player Personnel, Kyle O'Brien. Lions Director of Player Personnel, Lance Newark. Director of Pro Scouting, Rob Lohman. Former Eagles Director of Pro Personnel, Louis Riddick. Former Texans GM, Rick Smith. Former Falcons Assistant GM, Scott Pioli. Former Falcons GM, Thomas Dimitroff. Saints Vice President Assistant of Pro Personnel, Terry Fortnott. Vice President Assistant Saints College Personnel, Jeff Ireland. Rams Director of College Scouting, Brad Holmes. Viking Assistant, George Patton. Seahawks General Manager, Vice President John Snyder. This is a big list, and obviously their list went extremely high, and it makes a ton of sense. To me, general manager position is the most important position that we need to get correctly on this team. You have to draft players to help this team, and that's what a general manager does. Help get this roster squared away, plus free agency. When I look at the first three candidates, to me, they don't have any chance at all to make the team. That is the current players under the Lions' direction. Go ahead and scratch them off. They're not doing it. The most interesting one, I guess, would be Louis Riddick, the ESPN analyst and former Eagles and Washington. When it comes to his personnel, he's a very down-to-earth, straightforward type of guy. Rick Smith of the Texans, that is a very hot candidate as well. A lot of people like him. He did bring in a lot of talent to the Texans. Again, let's not blame him for the issues that's happened over the past year or 2 years. That was their former head coach who took a lot of that. Scott Pioli, to me, doesn't have a whole lot of a chance. Thomas Dimitroff is a candidate I would look at. I don't give him the most chance. When you look at the Saints, they have two individuals there. And if you look at how they looked at the head coach as well of the assistant head coach of the Saints, so there's connections there from that standpoint. And George Patton, I really like that guy from the Minnesota Vikings. They've drafted very well from that organization. It makes a lot of sense. And I probably think that John Schneider, the executive VP of the Seattle Seahawks, general manager, he would be the number one on the list. Still, that's difficult for the Lions to pry away because he's on the team. So it's still difficult. You'd probably have to send a draft pick to the Seattle Seahawks to acquire his talents. And we only got 5 draft picks. So that would be difficult to me. On this list, I still really like Louis Riddick. I think he's intriguing. I think he's intriguing from a different aspect. I do like, to me, he's the guy I would really look upon. John Schneider, I would love to have him, but again, I don't want to give up draft capital to acquire him because we only have 5 draft picks, and it would be difficult to have 4 draft picks or 3 in an NFL draft, depending on what you got there. And George Patton, I think that's a good player. I think there's a good list here. A very good list. Rick Smith, George Patton, Louis Riddick. I like that. Some questionable guys with the Lions and Scott Pioli, but still a good list nonetheless. And we also got to talk about, there could be individuals that we've not heard about yet for the head coaching position and for the general manager position. But if that's not the case, folks, two of these guys will be the leaders of the Detroit Lions going forward. And it's not a bad list, in my opinion, depending on who you get. Also, what Rod Wood stated is he would be willing to hire the head coach before the general manager. It's a little bit off, and personally, I don't believe in that philosophy. I believe in the philosophy of hiring the general manager first, top-down authority, chain of command. So it's a little bit of questionable that they would do this, in my opinion. Some other teams have. It's a little bit backwards. They did suggest they would do that, depending on the person, I'm going to assume. I still give the odds that the Detroit Lions are going to go ahead and hire the general manager first. It makes the most sense. Top-down authority. Let the general manager hire his head coach. Let the head coach hire his assistants. Top-down authority. It makes the most sense, in my opinion. So we'll see going forward. If they make a hire soon, say they take Robert Saleh, that would be a interesting move because it'd probably be before the general manager. But again, if you look at Robert Saleh, Louis Riddick is very high on Robert Saleh, so that could be a connection there. But here is the connection. So get your pins ready and start pinning everybody, because the formation of the Lions leadership is getting closer and closer to be fulfilled. We have an idea of what they're looking at. We have an idea of the direction they're looking at, and that's better than not having anything. Folks, in the upcoming videos, we're going to be having the One Pride podcast on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. On the Warpath, one of my favorite YouTubers is going to be on with myself. We're going to have fun talking Detroit Lions, talking playoffs, and having a great time talking about the NFL draft. So hit that notification bell so you don't miss out, and make sure to be ready for a great show. Also, we'll be doing breaking news, so you want to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on what occurs. You never know what's going to happen. We could hire the head coach. We could hire the GM. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the information that will be taking place. I do have a mock draft video in the works right now. A lot of people asked about the mock drafts. It takes a little bit of time. Now that the draft is in order, I want to make sure that I pinpoint correct and accurate instead of just throwing darts at a dart board. Also, if you are a member, take the time and watch the video through the end, because your name's going to pop up on the congratulations to my members. With that said, folks, adios.